People are so fucking afraid of copyright. Oh yeah, I better put in the description. You know, I don't own this. I used to love seeing on early day YouTube because I'm so fucking old. Is people would repost clips of like The Simpsons or something, and it would come up like Hulu at the end, and I was like, what the fuck? That has nothing to do with The Simpsons, you know? Fucking Hulu didn't make The Simpsons. It was Matt Groening or Groening or whatever the fuck. But you'd always have in the descriptions, I do not own any of this, and like they think they're safe when they copy and paste the whole fucking thing. Uh, I do not own this. It's like we fucking know, you know. Yeah, that's what people want when they tune into a live stream. You know, people think live streams nowadays, you know, it's their soapbox. But boxes, you stand on a soapbox and you tell the people what you're thinking. And, you know, a lot of people spend a lot of time thinking about what other people be thinking. And then that gets me thinking. And then I do too much thinking. And then I'm being put in the nut house. So, and not an actual nut house. I mean like a house where there just so happens to be nuts. And if you have that fucking nut allergy, then you die. You see, you can't make jokes about anything anymore. Anything. I'm back. You know, I crawled back, as they say. Fucking Uncle festering in. I was wrong, okay? It's taken me a lot of courage to say this, but everything I've ever said it was wrong. And I will continue to probably be wrong about something, you know? Oh, it's your ark. And the last person at a fucking ark was fucking Noah. And that reminds me, I need to get an ark. Because if without one and the floods happen, you know, you're fucked. I saw, this is unrelated to my fucking tangential rants. We love it when he goes on his tangential rants. Mark Maron fucking in his garage. He had like a video, he had his podcast, right? And he had the guy who played, call it Heads or Tails. I know it as the movie with the elephant gun, but you may know it as No Country for Old Men. And it was a book, one I was supposed to read in school, but they'd always tell you the important stuff. It's like this was about Jim Crow and the slave laws, and you know, it's a horrible thing. But then the teacher in the class was like, you know, hurry it up. We need to go fucking eat our sandwiches. You know, we can't be here learning about all this important stuff for the day. And then most of my teachers, I remember I had a religion teacher, and this is very true. He goes, fucking put on The Simpsons, and we just watch The Simpsons in religion class, you know? And when it comes to all these important hot button issues, especially in English, you know, you live your everyday life, you know, of people all walks and colors from all sorts of backgrounds. Yeah, can we fucking wrap it up? Yeah, we get it. You know, you're a black man, and you're done dirty. And I was curious to see, was To Kill a Mockingbird, you know, was that a good book? Because I was supposed to read it, I didn't read it, and I have the book. And it turns out that, well, according to fucking, you know, my trusty assistant, Jeffrey, that's what I call my AI companion, yeah, they're companions. Like what? He's got, I have all these problems, and he goes, have you tried fucking doing them? Oh, good point. I didn't think of that, Jeffrey. No, of course, you know everything and I know nothing. But, yeah, if I ask Jeffrey to do anything, he's like, well, fucking do it yourself. He can't do anything. He's the worst companion there ever was. There's we're moving on, okay? I said I was wrong, okay? And I don't even know what the original point I was trying to make was. Yeah, I remember now. It was about either a podcast or some other fucking thing I saw. There's a thing I saw, and I forgot what it was. It was about being important or something, was it? Yeah. I think it was something to do with that. See, if I fucking had my trusty assistant Jeffrey here, I'd be able to fucking solve, you know, this conundrum. But no, he's not here. and it was something to do with books or something. What I am a big fan of is those people that they like to lame baste or lambast or something. They speak, they speak to you at home, and they have a big bookshelf, a big bookshelf behind them in the video. And I go to the comments, and a guy goes, "It really helped to fix your backwater, views of the world if you just read a couple of them books you got back there." I love that. I think I was talking about the old days or something, because I'm old. Something about The Simpsons or something. Yeah, copyright. Yeah, a lot of unoriginal stuff was being spouted. I think the point I was getting at was, any old, I was gonna say the C word, coot, not the other one that the Americans don't like. I know it's trendy to say it, but I'm not gonna say it. You can't say anything anymore, as they say, but you can. Depends on who you are. But I did see the other day something else, that Bill Cosby, our favorite guy, he's hipping and hopping around, and I saw he's on tour, and I'll say this much about Bill Cosby: I'm not going unless he has drinks ready for me. There. It's only fair that if I'm gonna go out of my way to meet the Cosby, that he's he treats you right, sets you up for something after the show. See, the thing about Bill Cosby wasn't nobody had a problem with his act. I think people had more of a problem with the post act, or maybe it was the pre-act. Which reminds me, I'm fucking sick of doing this pre-act I'm doing, but all that stuff I said about those vegans, because it's I know it's not popular to just be, it's popular now to talk about stuff, hot button issues. But unfortunately enough, my whole shtick is I talk about vegans. I'm sorry, but horrible. I know. You should never compare vegans to zombies. I know it's uncut, and I'm sorry. But for dinner tonight, I'm having Kale, the guy from Twin Peaks. I'm having him for dinner. See, I'm indignant. I'm an indignant sort. There's too much fucking words. I'm gonna play the game because the last time I opened my fat gob, it wasn't for a soybean burger, but it was something important. And I don't want to be funny. I want to be important. I saw that Freedom Flotilla, whatever floats your boat. Well, that boat sailed, and I'm only hearing about it now. I have all this information I compiled about it. What fucking good is that to me now? I got a fucking get this. I got a text message from FedEx. Well, let's hope it's not being fucking delivered by Tom Hanks. He's gonna end up in the middle of an island. Hopefully not populated by children. But anyway. Or socks. He had a weird sock thing going. Let me see. I've checked my stuff. Yeah. No, that's not it. But anyway, I heard about this boat, and the reason being is I heard there was a boatload of food was on a ship, and I was gonna go and eat it, till I realized it was for starving children. It'd be a catastrophe if I went, but isn't a boat too fucking slow to bring food to you? And there's nothing funny about it, and it's really sad. Anyway, they manned a team to give aid to those kids, but it took. This is my thoughts on the issue when it was more. What's the word? Important, or what's the other word? Current. Had the news to do current affairs. Well, I do outdated stuff. That's me. It takes me a while to catch up, a bit like the boat. But they had Greta Thunberg and that Game of Thrones guy, and they're steering the wheels of hope. But I have some hang-ups. I've no problem with them chartering the boat. But, you know how in those films, there's like a white savior that appears to the black people, and it's seen as bad because it's saying that they can't solve the issues themselves? But we all know when the two white chicks made landfall, they're gonna be disappointed. I originally, when I did my research, I thought one of the other ones was a lady, but turns out it was Liam something or other from Game of Thrones. But yeah, they're gonna be disappointed when they arrive, and you know this is when originally they were gonna get there, and it isn't the religious icon. You know, plus they see Jesus as just a brown dude and not a white savior. See, after solving the climate crisis, you know, Greta, she's gonna end the never ending conflict with a boatload of food and an attitude. See, those missiles are more powerful than. What? I fucking read that wrong. See, food is more powerful than nuclear missiles. And speaking of which, I think my house has been targeted. Hold on. And we're back. It's like I never fucking left. Maybe I should have left. If my house fucking burnt down during this, that'd be the lasting legacy. He died in a blazing inferno talking about Greta Thunberg and how she was solving the planet problem. The long and the short of it is, I'm sorry, I'm gonna skip over my fucking important notes on these important issues, but the long and the short of it is that you know she saw like the what I ended up happening was I'm having these cardboard straws in my drinks, and they attach the bottle cap to the bottles. You know, the Earth's getting warmer, and I don't think we're getting to the end of it. And meanwhile, you know, my fucking soft drink fucking tastes like shit, and apparently the cardboard in it has a glue that's fucking bad for you. That's fucking. I don't mean to be preachy, you know? It's not my place to talk about these important stuff. But I figured because I try to keep up to date and learn the ways of the streamers and all that, you know? And I asked fucking Jeffrey, what does he think? And who gives a fuck what any old human fucking thinks? You know, what I care about is being modern, up to date. You have to keep with the times, old man. And if you're not up to date with the times, it's a newspaper. But also, there's nothing more fucking terrifying than your outdated beliefs catching up with you, and then you're 1 foot down into the grave. Oh look, remember those animal bars? You know what I'm gonna do after I finish this fucking catastrophe of what I call a stream? You know, I'm gonna lump all this fucking the stream audio. Could you stop moaning back there, Marvin? I'm trying to fucking talk, man. I want to fucking load in my joke about the fucking animal bars and see if fucking the AI thinks that's a hoot. Probably thinks it's fucking gold. Because there's nothing more gold than animal bar jokes. It's the fucking best. But, what was I trying to fucking say? Yeah, in more cheery news today, I like the cheery news. It's National Garfield the Cat Day, I saw. You know, otherwise known to us fucking normal people as Thursday. And also, I thought he fucking hated Mondays. Like, why is it on a Thursday? Look, show that to any old fucking... That was a big breath. Here, Leon, first day on the job, you know? You shouldn't be... You know when you wear those police body cam stuff and you have the mic? There's nothing better than watching those and the fucking cop is just going breathing down your neck. Okay, no more breathing, okay? You can stop breathing when you get bit. So, I like this bit I'm doing. Is that to hook the Windows button off? It's not one of them shitty fucking Mac computers, you know? But, I believe the fucking one downstairs was. And there's no fucking cable, so they're... These police people, you know? Talk about not even attention to detail or anything. They don't even know how to connect a fucking computer. And it's not an Apple computer, because where's the big tower? And the big loud noise when you turn it on and all that. Whenever you had the family computer, you know, everybody, years ago, there was a family computer, and, you know, if you wanted to Google something, it would cost you an arm and a leg. Not really, but figuratively, you know? Where am I bring all my gizmos and gadgets? You gotta have your gizmos and your gadgets with you. So I got my shotgun from last time, my nail clippers, and my jewel. Okay, so the art room is fucking done and dusted. But who wants to fucking talk about fucking old stuff and fucking gameplay or anything like that? When I tune into a stream, I just want to hear about the news and all the horrors in the world. Look, I watch Stephen King stuff to escape the horrors of reality. You know, I play Resident Evil to escape the horrors of reality. You know, every piece of fiction I've just realized is used to escape the horrors of reality, you know? Starting to sound like Rodney Dangerfield again. Like, I'm telling you. You know, that Yakov Smirnoff, he's a schmuck, I'm telling you. Most of his jokes, you know, back in my country, you wouldn't have this, you know? I'm like doing a rendition of Yakov Smirnoff if he was Rodney Dangerfield, which is pretty shit on both ends. Then maybe that could work, you know, you shit on both ends, you know. Johnny Carson, he had a pencil with two nubs on either end. I'm telling you. I'm in that fucking West storage room. Where the fuck is the safe? But, years ago, I was Chinese. That's a Shenmue quote and not racist. It's really unfortunate if you go back and see all the old movies like the John Wayne films and, you know, Mickey Rooney. And then, even, Sean Connery. I'm going to be Japanese. Is that a big mound of shit? Fucking hell, it is. A big mound of horrific shit. Otherwise known as the stream, but I digress. The last time I was in good spirits fucking playing something like this, right? Some straggler fucking popped into my stream and they go, "You looking for any, you know, layouts and all this, graphics?" And then I was like, "No, I'm okay. You know, no, seriously, you really need to up, you know, this place looks like a shithole, you really need to fucking up your game." And then I was stuck in a puzzle and then they were getting frustrated, so they helped me with it for free. And then they said, "Are you gonna buy anything?" I was like, "No." Okay, then I'm gonna fuck off then. So I'm just thinking, what? These digital gypsies are fucking clamoring around looking for work. It's ridiculous. It's my first day, okay? It's my first day at work. You're telling me that this is the first day at work and you don't know where to go. You went to the West office and the East office. You know, you went to the West Indies. You know, there's nothing more racist than thinking, you know, Christopher Columbus goes all across the fucking ocean. He lands there and he goes, you know, "Yous are the West Indies." And the locals are thinking, "What the fuck? What do you mean we're the West Indians? We're Americans." No, you fucking Indians are in the wrong spot. You need to go fucking back home. And then, of fucking course, it gives them disease. But we know that's a cover-up for actually he killed them. We know what you did, Columbus. Fucking Columbus. What a fucking name. Christopher Columbus, you know? You know who kills? Rodney Dangerfield's wife. You know? I'm gonna drop this Rodney bit. I've improv fucking terrible. What's that? It is an ancient appliance known as a fucking weird Hoover. Yeah, I love when I say that and people correct me. And they go, you know what you're actually talking about, that's a vacuum, you know? That's not a Hoover. You know, Hoover's the brand, the vacuum is the proper thing about it, you know? It's fucking shit. It's raining, it's pouring, there's an old man and he's snoring at the stream. The raindrops are falling on the windows of pain. It pains me to say it, but I'm not a big fan of fucking puns, I'll tell you. I'm telling you, I'm not a big fan of puns, you know? It says in the book, fuck the puns, you know? It's fucking shit. He's stalling, so he is. You know what I don't understand? People go on about this fucking evil mustache man, and then I bring up Stalin, and people go, what did he do? I mean, he was worse. This guy was somehow worse than the original mustache man. And yet people give more guff because of his haircut and his choice of facial hair. It's not even that important at the end of the day, you know? You know, people place importance on the fucking stupidest of fucking things, you know? I want to get back to talking about the important stuff, right? So years ago, before you wanted to Google something, maybe you felt a bit, you know, lonely or whatever. You had to dial up on that dial-up modem. And you couldn't just... And not anybody could just look things up on their phone. There was a computer in the middle of the sitting room. Or not even the sitting room, the dining room, right? So if you wanted to Google something, it better be fucking safe for, you know, family friendly, because there's no way you're going to be looking up feck. I mean, voluptuous tits or something, you know, ditties on toast in front of your parents. You know, there's nothing fucking worse. The China Communist Party, the CCP. Oh, look at that, I guessed it. Let's take these steel boys out. But if you wanted to do anything, it was the family computer. There was only one computer, it was the family one. And I had a friend, I still have him, he's still around, he's still my friend. And, you know, one time there, oh shit. There's a lot of shit in there I need to get. I'll take it slow. It'd be a shame if this guy woke up and ate me. But, he was telling me that his computer would make so much loud noises, you know? So if you wanted to sneak the computer and look up something weird, you know, you're fucked. It didn't matter if you cleared the browser history. Because the whole thing was such a noisy fucking thing. You couldn't sneak anything. It wasn't until the fucking laptop kicked off that you could really hide your intentions, you know? Spray bottle. I don't know. I got too much gick. Hold on. I'll equip this gick. I'll throw this gick into the hallway. Alright, watch this. Oh, it's right there. Is it on the floor? I mean, it is now. Look, I just want to collect more extra shit. I missed the shotgun shells. Oh, fuck. Let me pick up my spray bottle. Yeah, well, I'll pick up that. The fax machine. That's what I call my good old assistant Jeffrey. I call him the fax machine. He's always spitting out hot facts. I'm telling you, the puns, fucking terrible, you know? You should fucking cut your dick off. Save you the trouble, you know? It's probably one of the worst fucking, most of my jokes, I only tell Gentile jokes. But there's nothing funnier in the world than Jewish jokes, or so I hear. It's quite popular at the moment, you know, if you're anti-Semitic, you know, if you're big hard on for hating Jewish people, I'll tell you, it's one of the worst times to be Jewish in the world. Well, not really, because, you know, considering earlier on, I feel like there was a bigger event that, you know, they had it off pretty bad. But, I'm telling you, it'd be one of the worst fucking bits of timing if you decide to convert to be Jewish. You know, you have to cut your fucking thing off, you have to, you know, get circumcised, and then you do it, and then people fucking hate your guts. At least with these atheists, they don't have to cut anything off. It's like, what do they believe? I don't know. They don't really need to cut anything off, though. The one thing they do cut off is they cut off their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You know, he's ready to hand out a helping hand, and they're swiping it away. You know, get the fuck out of my life, Jesus. You made it shit enough. Why did the streamer get so fucking preachy about his beliefs? Oh my god. Oh my god. It's funny because he said, oh my god. Shotgun shells. I got 11 shotgun shells, I'm telling you. Spray it up. What else was I thinking of? I think that's my thoughts on more important stuff. But here's something I saw James May hanging out with Jay Leno. He said that he wasn't enthusiastic enough or something last time. So James, you know, he's like a plank of wood. You know, he's like a wooden board. So you can't make that any more animated unless it was you know, a fucking plank. You know, from Ed, Edd n Eddy. But, you know, Jay's just standing there looking like he'd rather be sitting in his fire truck. He had, like, that 1,000-yard young lard. He had that 1,000-yard stare. He was probably thinking about the LA fires again. Oh, yeah. The fucking mission is afloat. Everything's a fucking mission with this guy. I gotta get my wits about me. People love, you know, I was watching this thing and it was an interview with, I'm sorry to say it, but an old-fashioned coot. John Cleese was doing this interview, and he's like, I love the Irish. The Irish have that fascinating wit about them, but they also have that, you know, that fast Irish. They go fim, and the interviewer was like, fim, what the fuck is fim? Fast Irish mutter. Is it safe to be even fucking going through this hall? Take my fucking time. I don't fucking have the key for that. He's standing on his legs, he's fine. I already commented about that fucking zombosis, you know? Get around. Oh, nothing worse than a high-vis jacket male. We got a high... Oh, not you, lady. You can stay the fuck out. Anyway. Let's get this fucking open. I was going to change the title of the stream, but I figured I'd just reuse it. There's nothing more aggravating to people when you go, oh, I'm playing The Sims or something, and it goes, somebody strolls in, haven't been watching the stream at all. This game isn't the fucking Sims, what? Are you a fucking idiot or something? I'm like, yeah, sorry about that. And, you know, they don't apologize for anyone, they're like, the Twitch police. Nothing worse than the Twitch and streaming police. They're even fucking worse than the normal police. somehow. I'm a big fan of that fucking pitter patter. Yeah, but my thoughts on the family computer was that it was dead fucking slow, and every time you wanted to use it, you fucking hope to God your auntie didn't start ringing the phone, because then the internet just got cut off. I think I told my story about printing off many sheets. I used to go on a... Okay, I'll tell it again. I used to go on a site called Game Genie, and it had this disgustingly ugly fucking green, like, cartoon genie on it. And it was for gaming cheats. And I just wanted to see what cool stuff you get in the games and all that, right? Speaking of fucking stuff, am I going the right way? I think I am. But I printed off like fucking 30 pages. And it was all like, you know, the terms and conditions of the fucking website or something. And then my fucking dad goes, why the fuck are you using up all the ink? Like an eel. That was terrible. I'm telling you. What a load of shit. Is there any fucking indicator while I'm gonna... Storage. No, it's just fucking some king. Some king dude. I was walking down the road today, and a thought occurred to me that, you know how they say you should walk for like at least 2 hours a day, right? And you know how the older you get, the slower you move? Well, it turns out, you know, you see an old guy and you tell him, so where'd you go today? I went down to that tree over there and back. And it took him fucking 2 hours to get to the tree. That's not 10,000 steps. But, you know, you have to realize he's on, he's one step away from falling into some fucking never-ending abyss. So, and also, he's walked all the amount of walking he'll ever do in his life. I believe there's like a trophy in this game that, or an achievement, depending on what you're playing it on. If you get less than fucking so many steps, you get an achievement in this. I've definitely done way more than 10,000. Keep your treasures on. I'll be there in a second. See this thing. A fish. A fucking crab-looking thing. Fish and a thing. I'm hearing some great noises. What the fuck? Where's the fucking yoke? Was I even looking at the right one? Hold on. Oh, I see. I'm not looking. I was looking at the horse fucking statue. I should have been looking at the lady, because it's a lady. That's embarrassing. It's like some Adam and Eve fucking tribute. There's nothing better than in music than tributes. I was listening to the radio, you know, and there's nothing better than hearing this. I heard a new song on the radio, you know, crazy, a brand new song, and then one of the lyrics was, "I miss rubbing your legs." What? What the? Whoa! You keep that, you know, you keep that to yourself. See, all these songs are like so like full of lust and they're just all about sex, dirty sex and all this. And listen, I don't want to get eaten. Let me fucking take a bit of this. Eat good eats. Get the fuck out of here. Oh shit. This is a fucking mess. How the fuck did he get in here? What? I don't know. That is something else. Is it different now that he can follow you around? I've never seen that happen before. Yeah, I think he can. I think it was the exact same one. And even worse than I have to eat more fucking greens. I have to eat more fucking rabbit food. Let's eat my rabbit food. Is that it? Yeah, that's shit. Let me examine it. Yeah, that's some good stuff. Alright. I thought I could use, oh, I've got this out. I thought I could use my knife or something to stop the guy chewing my neck. But no. My neck is intact, luckily enough. But I've got all those tendons and stuff in there. Well, where was I? Yeah, the song was just so like, you know, these songs are full of like sex and lust, and you know, it's not great. You know, the least thing I want to be thinking about is Chapel Roan's ham hocks. You know, see, I like the ladies. You know, I like the big ladies. I like the big meat on them bones. And I saw Sabrina Carpenter. She's I don't know much about her, but according to Jeffrey, she's a fan of wood. She got a new song called "Man Child." It's all about men being stupid. It's, you know, it's a good portrayal of us idiots. But here's the thing: I love Sabrina. You know, she's larger than life, but she isn't as big as Chapel Roan. See, I went to a Chapel Roan concert, okay, and I was disappointed because when she opened her mouth, the concert ended. You know, and there's crowds of women going, "She ate, she ate, she ate." It's really insensitive, you know. What does Chapel Roan think of ongoing conflicts in the Middle East? You know, I thought I'd toss her a bone, and she got mad at me. See, it's not nice to throw bones at people. You see, these concerts, they're played like in a big, like, iron dome, you know, and a bit like many people, it never lets anybody in. Or like Nuance. You know, and it's super packed for like a big plus size guy like me. So you have to wade through the waves of people to get to the stage. But you know, I'm missing the point as usual, and I went back. I went back when I should have, you know, stuck to the road. But at one point they had cannons. You know, they have those big, you know, t-shirt cannons. Well, they shot plus size shirts into the crowd, and you know, I'm ducking for cover. But you know, I asked Jeffrey like, what's her songs about? You know, and it goes, I'm waiting for the E equals MC squared song to drop next. You know, because the 60 other boyfriend songs were so poignant and excellent. See, I did my research. I mean, LBGT Chat GPT told me. So really, I did no research at all. You know, feminists I saw are pissed off that her new album cover has her down on her hands and her knees, and a man's pulling her hair. This is all I have to say about it. Where'd the apple go? But you know, people like to think that music is important, and I agree. One of my favorite songs is Scatman. You know, Scatman's World. I don't really know what a fucking scat is. And he's going, like, it's one of the most profound songs in the world, and you realize half the lyrics are I can't even fucking do it. And then the other half, I can't get this right. He goes, fat man, black man, black and white and brown man. And then he goes, tell me the color of your soul. You know, if you're trying to do a Scatman nowadays, fucking AI can't do all that skibidabadabada stuff, you know? And I can't do it. The only fucking person in the world that can ever do that fucking song was him, and he's fucking gone. It was a song only he can fucking do. Whereas, you know, a song about men being fucking dumb as fucking bricks, like, fucking anyone could do that. Which is a shame. There's not enough songs about men being fucking retarded. But, what was I trying to say? Yeah, I was listening to a bit of David Bowie today. And, I came to a conclusion while listening to it. One of the songs called Gene Genie, and I'm listening to the lyrics, and it goes, she ate a load of razors. She's after eating a load of razors, and New York is a go-go. And I'm just thinking, the words of the songs are fucking retarded. Just so fucking stupid. If you actually listen to lyrics sometimes. And what occurred to me is half these fucking songs that sound good, it's like the words are pointless. It's just... I know it's getting a bit preachy, a bit too important, but... What I really want to talk about is, how, I fucking want a nice juicy ham or something. No, I think my point was that most music people they make the best music on drugs.
That's our way out. Lieutenant Branna! Marvin! It's time to go. Hey, Marvin.
He must have went to one of those Chaperone concerts, holy fuck.
No, save yourself.
Come on, I've got you.
Go!
He's a good man.
Look, we can still make it out of here together. You just can...
It's too late.
It's not too fucking late, we can bring you.
Tried, Leon. But I couldn't stop it. We can't let this thing spread.
There's only one solution to that.
Just go.
I'd recommend taking your teeth out before you turn, because I don't want to get chomped next, okay? Like, if you think about it, old people zombies wouldn't be very good because they've no teeth. They'd just be slobbering on your neck. That's great. You better watch out, that's a slobberer. Nice office you got. But yeah, there's nothing worse than the slobberer. You gotta watch out, it's a slobberer. It slobbers all over the place. I was trying to do a voice earlier on today, and it just sounded like Super Dave. It was just going, hey, you gotta listen to me. What was the voice I was trying to do in the first place? I fucking can't remember, but I was just going, listen to me. Are you fucking serious? A slobberer. A guy who slobbers all over the place. What with the size of the opening? I did a so much better fucking Super Dave voice earlier on when I wasn't even fucking trying to. Now I tried to do it fucking terrible. There's nothing worse than someone asking you, can you do a voice? And then you try and do the voice and then, I'm sorry, it's not happening. You know, it takes a while to get into character, you know? But I had something on my mind. It's about the slobberer or something. That's... Do you know that they call streams of consciousness? Well, this is just like a slobber fest. He just slobbers all over the game. He's a slobberer. That's my new tagline, the slobberer. That's slobber streams. People are all about slop. I'm about slobbering. See these creatures of the night? You know, had they been eating sausages, they wouldn't be made of like couch stuffing. You know, I'm gonna make way here and say that I never liked that about zombies. You know, they wander around aimlessly like the people in Lidl or something, or a place like Morrison's, and if you're American, Walmart. You know, you'd stand a better chance in Walmart because, you know, the zombies are all fat and slow, and I don't mean physically. Unless you know, they use those mobility scooters too. You know, in films like Shaun of the Dead, they pretend to be zombies, and like Zombieland, they pour blood on themselves to mask that they're alive. Well, if they were like, just say they're zombies, right? They're like Muslim zombies. I'd play Taylor Swift and wear a bandolier of fucking sausages around me. And they'd stay clear of me. Who the fuck is that? No Muslim wants to be caught dead or alive near a man with a sausage necklace. That's all I'll say. And if you really when it really comes down to it, does it fucking matter what religion a zombie is? Or fucking if it's a vegan zombie or something? I think he's... This is what happens if you eat too much red meat. Mushrooms? What are we on about mushrooms for? I thought my chat box was fucking broken, but it turns out it wasn't. I like his jeans. Look at those dad pants. He's got fucking dad fucking jeans, and I don't mean just genetically either. Grenades. He's not just a zombie, he's a tortured zombie, so now he's saying like, oh, you know, you gotta fucking help me, I'm struggling. He's a... He's got mental problems, the zombie, as well. If it was a depressed zombie, at least then it wouldn't fucking have the... It'd have the decency not to fucking eat me. He doesn't even know where the fuck I am. Yeah, just shit his giant eyeball. He's the fucking Hulk. So I see that you go around and around in a nice merry-go-round.
Gotta take it down.
And he bleeds orange. He's bleeding beautiful fucking orange juice. He really is a dad if you shoot him in the eyes and his fucking orange juice comes out of him. That's it. That's excellent. I'll be here all fucking day. Here's my advice to the viewers, you know, the folks. You're gonna have to turn on your phone, your smartphone, and there's nothing more entertaining than whatever the fuck isn't this. Oh yeah, my other thoughts and opinions, right? And more pointless waste of life talking about entertainment, right? They got that 28 years later. You know, it's probably taking me fucking 28 years to fucking realize that the first one was called 28 Days Later, you know? I haven't fucking seen the days later, weeks later, and it's gonna be fucking years later by the time I fucking left this earth and I've seen the film. Like, how many more depressing films does Cillian Murphy need to make before he stops? Now, he already looked like a skeleton. So maybe he's method acting for his next film based on the famine or something. No, wait, that was Christian Bale in The Machinist. But then he goes and plays a fucking Batman, you know? But people would like to see Cillian in Batman, you know? But he was already the Scarecrow. And, but like, in the film, he's got, like, Cillian Murphy's got like a bag over his head. It's probably the most attractive he's ever looked to the ladies. And the fellas, probably, who knows? If you're into men who wear bags on their heads, it's a fucking hoot of a fucking character, you know? Who was Cillian again in the Batman films? Not just the Batman with Robert Pattinson. He's the Scarecrow. Nothing scarier than a man wearing a bag on his head. Oh, he's got the runs or something. This guy used to be a scientist or some shit. And I'd like to, you know, I'd like to point out something very important that's been put into the chat there that's not true. It's not a crowbar, okay? It's a steel pipe. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it is a steel pipe. You see, we want to be factually accurate here on this. Thursday night. Thursday afternoon.
Damn. Where is
If you live in New York City, it's fucking 4:30, isn't it? It's actually 4:30. Oh fuck. Did I just get out of that for fucking free? What happened? He whacked me in the face. He got that fucking wrong, didn't he? East Coast, West Coast. But get this. You can't just say it's 4:30. It's 4:30, as they say in America land. I never say 4:30. And is 4:30 what they said when analog clocks were a thing, or was this only like a fucking digital clock thing? Again? For a guy made of big meat, he's great at jumping from the fucking sky. And where's my grenade gone? He fucking gobbled my grenades. It's now 4:31. I want to keep accurate and up to date. So it's good to know it's 4:31 now. This will age beautifully in the VOD. My streamer friend Joe, we love fucking Joe. We don't like to fuck Joe, but Joe's a good guy. He would always say, it's VODified. Well, once the stream is consolidated and VODified, we're fucked. But, you know, there's nothing going to be better than looking back at this bit. You know what people say? My favorite part of the whole stream was the middle. For some people, it's the end. But nobody says their favorite part was the fucking middle when he was talking about fucking 4:30, you know? Joby. I think he still goes by that, but I call him Joe. I call him good old Joe. And people then keep on thinking I'm talking about fucking orange juice. Good old Joe. He's a goat. Apparently in the chat he's a goat as well. He's a smelly old goat. Oh fuck, again? Listen, I don't want you to take my police treasures off, okay? Your scientist genes are fine. Your dad genes are fine. You wear those, okay? I'm not the fashion police, okay? I'm done. Also, I'd like to, you know, put it out there that wouldn't Joe be coffee and not orange juice? I don't know my orange juice for my coffee, okay? But look at this, he's doing it again. It's one of the worst fucking bosses ever. He just jumps from the sky. I just do ring around a Rosie, you know? Like going around at like a table in your dreams when you're like a child. Surely enough the monster's not gonna catch me if I just go around in circles. But for future reference and for the, you know, the folks, the viewers at home, a cup of Joe is coffee. Orange juice is OJ. Not to be confused with that guy who killed his wife in the waiter 31 years ago. Did you know that happened yesterday, 31 years ago? The trial? Because this game is set in the 90s, do you think the Ford Bronco is still around? My getaway vehicle of choice. Oh, please don't go away. Please don't go over there. He's having a tantrum. He's having a tantrum. There we go. I'm sorry about your arm and your eye and your arm. It's these fucking health influencers, man. Look, if I was a grotesque fucking scientist dad monster, do you know what I want to be doing? I want to be holding on to the treasures of a fucking beautiful fucking blonde, blue-eyed hunk of fucking police officer, right? Because I'm a corrupted monster with a giant eye. I have an eye for this, okay? The giant fucking eye for fashion. And I want his genes, but also more importantly enough than that, I'm gonna go around with a big fucking steel pipe, and I'm gonna fucking what's this to do with health influencer analogy? Listen, if I'm a fucking health influencer monster, the least thing I'm gonna be doing is walking around with a big fucking steel pipe. It maybe has a bit of pipe going somewhere else, but you know.
Somebody's watching me.
Yeah, the people are watching. Look, it's not my fault the room gets hot and steamy when we're talking about the health influencers. Because they're more attractive than, I guess, the KFC influencers. I'm just saying. I hate to throw bones around accusations. I think people of all shapes and sizes are equal on this earth. Except some people are a bit, you know, a bit bigger than other people. But it is not their fault. One of the worst comparisons I hear is that they say food is like a drug, you know? And to some extent it is, but I believe it's very, you know, food can be addictive, right? But I'm a firm believer if you stop eating food, you won't be around for much longer. It's the one drug you can't stop. You can't go cold turkey on that. I mean, you can, but if you have a cold turkey sandwich every day, you'll be pretty skinny, I suppose. But who wants to be fucking eating cold turkey every fucking day of their life? Oh, another hip pouch. It's hip to be square. I fucking love my hip to be square vinyl. Patrick Bateman and his hip to be square vinyl. The water diet. Oh, fucking fuck that water diet. I'm not a fan of that. We're gonna close that fucking book and leave it closed. Do you like my save files going Leon Claire, Leon Claire, Leon Claire? The only thing I think about when I hear the word Claire is a fucking juicy chocolate eclair. The only Claire I want to eat, and it's not the actual Claire, I want to eat the fucking chocolate Claire. Eclair. Just to make sure that you're aware that I don't want to eat a person, okay? If I'm a zombie, if I'm a fucking zombie, I might eat a person, but... Fucking the wolves are out to get me. Hungry like them wolves. I don't have my parking card.
Damn. Need a key card.
Oh no, the fucking zombie dogs are after him. No. I need to check something on my phone, so you enjoy this juicy piece of ass.
Get off of me!
Tell me if he ends up getting eaten.
Hey! Who is that?
Who could that
Stay
be?
sharp.
Okay, that was uncalled for now.
Lower it. FBI.
Fucking FBI.
Thank you.
I don't. Why do they have so much shooting dogs in this fucking game?
Surprised you made it this far.
Look, I don't want to be one of those people. They killed the sniffer. No, but listen. The dog is man's best fucking friend, and then they turn into a fucking zombie dog, and then they're fucking showing it loads. I've no problem with shooting zombies, okay? But I don't want to be shooting zombie dogs. I draw the line at zombie dogs. I don't want any poor pup to get shot.
What's going on?
It's not fair on them.
Sorry, that information's classified.
Where you going?
Do yourself a favor. Stop asking questions and get the hell out of here.
She's quite a bossy boots. Listen, Mrs. Bossy Boots.
I'm not done talking to you.
You got some John the Gaultier fucking outfit on. Or is it Giovanni or something? Some Italian or French guy's name. I wear a Pierre de Fretamangerie. You all love when people say, what is that? Well, this is what I call a t-shirt, but I see you're wearing Paul de Montague or something, I don't know. Her. Stop asking questions. Me. Why? I feel like this would work a lot better if I came up with it, because me just reading it just makes it sound like I'm just reading it really wrong.
Hello?
It's a fucking guy who works for Kotaku. What?
A real
It's a
human?
gaming journalist.
Hello, human?
You been here long?
Well, I don't like to, you know, you people have thrown a lot of words around today. But the least you could fucking do is call me by my fucking name. I have a name badge. I'm not a piece of meat. You know, I am a human being, but I mean, come on. The way he said that sounds like he wants to fucking have a fucking piece out of my neck.
Long enough. Are we the last ones alive?
No, there's a few of us.
Huh.
I want to pause the cutscenes because I don't want to talk over him.
Iron sent you.
Irons. You mean Chief Irons? Is he still around?
Who cares? Hopefully he's somebody's dinner by now.
His tortoise shell glasses are nice.
I'm sure he had a good reason.
He did. I was about to blow the whistle on his dirty...
Can I just say, you take one fucking puff of your fucking cigarette, you fucking throw it down? He's fucking, look, dragging fucking breathing through his nose. What the fuck is this journalist doing? I only smoke because it makes me look cool, you know? He doesn't enjoy it. He just to look cool in front of this cop in this police jail cell. Why is the fucking journalist fucking put in jail anyway? But I'm gonna take one puff of my cigarette to look cool, and I'm gonna fucking fuck it on the ground.
Yeah. I'd have done the same thing to him, I guess.
I can't be the only person who pointed that out playing this.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Unlock this cell and I'll give you this. There's no other way out of that parking garage. Believe me.
Sorry, I can't do that. I have to talk to the chief first.
Look, we're both prisoners in this station. So either we play nice...
It's a bit ironic. I'm the policeman, and he's saying I'm the prisoner.
It's coming.
What? What's coming?
Come on. Come on, don't be an asshole. Okay, you need this. Just get me the fuck out of here.
He's a comedian. Look. Oh fuck! The flasher got him. Oh no.
Oh my god.
He looks fucking amazing. He looks even better now with his eyes like that. Bulging eyes.
So you can put that thing away.
I don't even know what happened.
He was an influencer, I don't know.
So quick.
I told you to get out of here.
I'm sorry.
You wouldn't want to end up like Ben, would you?
Hey, I thought his name was Human One, but okay.
He was an informant. Had
Poor
information
Ben.
for my investigation.
Last cigarette ever.
It was true.
Fucking Ben.
Hey, you can't keep walking away from me.
Hey, don't be
I don't
touching
even know
this.
your name.
The merchandise, eh?
I'm Leon Kennedy.
Leon Scott's Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Find a way out, Leon. Before it's too late. Then we'll talk.
I like her glasses are tortoiseshell as well. That's not a name.
Well, I guess the deal's on.
Parking. I'm Ben now. I used to go by Leon, but I go by Ben now. Oh, what the fuck is this swirly looking thing? Poor fucking Ben. Yeah. As soon as he went across that fucking brick wall, I thought he was gonna tell some fucking misogynistic jokes or something. Maybe that's why they locked him up. Fucking deserved, am I right? What the fuck did these guys do to end up locked up in here? It's a crime to be a zombie. You stay the fuck in there, okay? Can I go in any of these spots? No. Yeah, I have nothing else to say about Ben. He just, the whole smoking thing really fucking took it out of me. And then I saw there was blood on Ada's new jacket. And she's more concerned that, what the fuck is wrong with my hands? Like, you fucking actual zombie blood on your fucking hands, and you're worried at SWAT. 911. The fucking most annoying thing ever in fucking school was, if you were smart, you know, they'd say, oh, what a SWAT. And I'm, and I'm just thinking, who the fuck am I with here? You know, only smart people call other people SWATs. I just call them fucking annoying people or whatever. I don't know. I didn't really care. I like Mr. Bean's car, except it's red. They had to pull in Mr. Bean for his comments about Ada Wong's jacket. I like how every sign in this is like accurate to like real life. Yeah, caution pedestrians. And because it's like zombies now, you can just change it to caution, like fucking zombies. Sound horn. Yeah, you Americans love Mr. Beans. Over yonder, over across the pond, you just call him Pee Wee Herman. This is Quack. Good old cuppa OJ Joe does a fucking great Pee Wee Herman impression, but he's not spelunking around. I saw, what was I thinking of? I saw that I was watching Judge Judy clips on YouTube or whatever, and it says she's on her 12,000 and like first episode, and she looks exactly the same as when I first saw her as like a child. You know, the cases are real, the people are real, and most of all, the cases are real. She's definitely a real judge. Yeah. You know, saying it's real a lot doesn't really do much to convince you, you know, it's real. If anything, it makes you think the opposite is true. You know, I found out that people on it get paid to be on the court cases and stuff. So, like, imagine you go to court, you know, you be, like, slashing people's tires all week, you know? And, if that were true, the catch is, the winning person gets like a settlement. What the fuck, Mr. Raccoon? Some toy thing. What it really boils down to is, does Judge Judy like you enough? Because she's not an actual judge, she's like this other thing. And my friend Joe said, you know, she's, I'm sorry about Jeffrey, my AI assistant that I fucking neglected. I'm talking about a real person instead. But, it really boils down to if she likes you, but she's not an actual TV. She plays a judge on TV, but technically she's this thing called an arbitrator or something, an arbiter. She's not a judge, she's this, which sounds way more menacing than judge. She's an arbiter. Like she's about to fling the gavel at you and kill you for not agreeing with her. So anyway, you know, each episode is some relationship crap. And it's usually a man left his wife and didn't pay her, and the selling point is seeing him boil alive. You know, which is a great thing, which I think is a more watered down version of what they actually do. You know, to those witches in the medieval times. Judge Judith. She used to be on a small TV in my local barber's a long time ago. When I used to get my hair cut, they'd have, you know, Judge Judith Genedy. But they also have other crap like Jeremy Kyle show. So just like family bickering shows on the TV while you're trying to get your hair cut. It's so stressful. But, you know, so most TV back then was just trashy and squabble shows. But get this, which sounds more menacing? Arbitrator Judy Or Judge Judy. Sounds like fucking Judge Dredd if it'd been titled that way. You know, for a fake judge, she's done a lot of judging. 12,500 episodes. And this doesn't include what she says to the people in the street or her family. Judge not lest you be judged, you know? All I know is people would get high and watch it and her hair would come to life like an eagle's nest or something. Now that's beside the point. Have you heard of this Spanish guy called Caso Cerrado? He must be used like as background noise or something. That's what I'm used for. I'm just used for fucking background noise. I once had someone come into this fucking thing I call a stream. Other people call it my soapbox. But yeah, we fall asleep to his streams, you know? But you know, that's what I want to do. Well, good dogs, good dogs. Good doggies. See, I'm only here because my phone switched off. See, the brainwashing is it's over. I'm free to live my life. And then the cravings kick in, and then, you know, I'm fucking tethered to the thing with the cable. See, I realize, like, I'm a servant to the fucking thing, and it always needs charging. See, and I'm not good enough, like, I'm not a health influencer, and I'm not getting enough health and fitness videos while I'm sat in my fat arse. And now I'm reading autopsy records when I shouldn't. That's malpractice. You shouldn't be fucking looking at that guy's records. See this place, right? Always reminds me of those fucking CSI Miami shows. But it also reminds me of the scene in the Batman games. I think it's on my mind because of the Cillian Murphy Joker thing. He wasn't the fucking Joker, sorry, the Scarecrow. It was wrong of me to call Cillian Murphy a Joker or a Scarecrow, but look, we make mistakes. We learn from our mistakes some days. I'll twist this crank and get cranky. Get cranking it. That's good. What else do I got, like, brewing beneath the surface, you know? I have to think of my important things. What box of fun do I got here? I don't have space for my box of fun. Oh shit. I look at my other stuff. Joker, I hardly knew her. You know, you're thinking of the other Joker. I'm thinking about the Joker. You're thinking of the Lady Joker, Harley Quinn. Yeah. She always does that accent, and speaking of which, our good old friend Joe, I should really this is just a promotion show for Joe's fucking show. You should go watch the Joe show. It's fucking better than this shit. He does a spot-on impersonation, or he does a voice. He does the voice of the Lady Joker. So he's doing an impression of Lady Gaga. He's doing an impression of all the other versions as well. You know what's interesting about voices, right? There's somebody, you just have to call him. Let's just get a phone call going. I don't know where the fuck he is. Maybe he's in the fucking bag. Oh my god, Joe, why'd you have to eat me? Look, just because I look like a tasty fucking meal doesn't mean you have to do this. Avert your eyes. There we go. You can look again. What's that? What the fuck? I'll be making some of those. And what about this box of tricks? The orange box. That evokes a lot of fucking nostalgia, and people love that fucking orange box, I tell you. Those gamers love their orange box. I'm not good with electronics here, so yeah, I don't fucking know. Does anybody know how to fucking activate a switchboard? Oh, I got it by accident. Whoops. Oh great, the dogs are loose. It's that fucking song. I didn't let him out. It wasn't me. You know what's unfortunate about, like, the reality of music nowadays? Nearly every fucking word has been used in a song. I could say a word and somebody like, yeah, that reminds me of that fucking song. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just talking to you. I'm just saying words. Get the fuck out of here. These dogs that have been let out. I'm not doing anything to these poor dogs. They're also the same breed of dog. They don't even have any other dogs. The Doberman. It's not a fucking weenie dog. Shit. I want to put my hard hat back on. Quick. I want a soda. This guy's talking about his dogs. Hey, don't get it twisted. I want to go to New York City at least once in my life and say, "We got a hot dog. We got a hot dog over here." The Big Smoke. They call it the Big Smoke. The Big Smoky City. Big Apple. They call it so many names. I don't fucking know what they call it actually. I call it the Big Smoke. The apple isn't really, like, is a Big Apple really fucking like a smoky, dirty looking place? It's claustrophobic. Yeah, I've heard that. But sometimes I see some really fucking nice, beautiful shots of it, and it's a concrete jungle, it is. And I think I'm dead. How am I not dead? Where the fuck's my knife gone? I've lost all of my stuff. Yeah, I need to get to that concrete jungle which has a fucking apple in it. A dirty fucking apple. Let's go in here quick for a quick peruse. Yeah, quit your screaming. Yeah, what was it I was saying? Something about a background noise? I think the rudest fucking you get some really fucking really rude comments when you do this. But I once got a comment that said, "This makes great background noise. I fell asleep to one of your streams." I didn't know if I should have been really insulted or fucking really, like, you know, that's a good thing. You know, people, you know, use you, it's soothing or something. And then you get woken up by fucking screaming or something, or fucking some zombie sound. Oh, I'm trapped. What am I gonna do? Just wait? We're closed. It's Fred. Listen, Fred. Oh, great. For the people using this as background noise, Fred just took a juicy chunk out of my neck. And now... I don't know what to call her. Maybe Selena Gomez or something. I don't know. She took a big juicy chunk out of my neck. You're gonna have to look at the stream to see if she looked like anything like Selena Gomez now. Get me the fuck back into the police station. It's too dangerous. The parking garage is full of zombies and dogs. It's so fucking perilous. It's a Gambit. Queen's Gambit? That was a great show. I really enjoyed the Queen's Gambit, and then you realize that there's no fucking the Queen's Gambit just means it's like a chess show. But then there's a fucking scene where the actress lady that plays her has the for some reason ladies with giant eyes are in now, and like in the Fallout show, but this is a different actress lady to the one in Queen's Gambit. There's like a scene where she takes like 50 drugs and she's like lying on her back and she's imagining the fucking chess moves on her fucking ceiling. So whenever I think of the fucking chess show, that's all I think of, is her taking a load of drugs and then looking at the ceiling and seeing chess. That's the one sport that I guess taking drugs is actually fucking... I bet you they don't do drug checks. That's the one... they call it a sport, but let's be honest. Is chess a sport? I saw that the guy, the poster boy. Oh, Joe's here in his fucking Twitch cave. I fucking streamed it more than Twitch, you know. I'm streaming at YouTube and Twitch. You know, Twitch, and then you have also, she's a fucking, I'm not gonna say it. The Maze Runner. You just think about how far apart her eyes are. That's fucking rude. Speak of the devil, and here he is. I was saying, I was fucking bigging you up, man, and you're fucking calling, you know, it's not nice to talk about how people look. I was thinking about the drugs thing, but you're commenting about the way she looks. What the fuck? Yeah, give out to him. He's in the other chat room. There was a controversy for a guy who got caught for having something up his ass. That's what I was trying to get at, but we have to build up to the ass, okay? Let's pretend we said it from the fucking top, okay? I saw Magnus Carlsen. You know, what a common name that is. You never have a common name in chess. It's not like Frederick is not a fucking common name. But Fred or John or something? What about Nancy Wheeler? You're not gonna log on to Twitch for this to fucking fight the good cause of a Joe being horrifically, I don't know, he's giving out about looks or something. Give him a dirty look or something, I don't know. But what was again on Magnus Carlsen? You see, he made a comment recently, he said that F1 is boring. You know, from the guy who moves fucking C3 to E4, you know, that's a lot of movement for a sport. You know, chess is far more riskier than, you know, than F1 racing. You know, one wrong move in F1 and you're dead. Whereas, yeah, there was that cheating scandal, and here's my thoughts on it, okay? You see, there was accusations made of this guy called Neiman, said that he was shoving, like, these vibrating beads up his ass. But say if you do this once, and you get away with it, yeah? You do this fucking bead thing once, then you have to keep up the charade. You have to keep on putting stuff up there. And, you know, you're gonna be lost without your beads to fucking know what to do when it comes to playing chess. And say you end up late to your chess match, as they normally do to these fucking things for some reason. You know, this is a real sport. Getting to your fucking chess match on time. You know, that's a strategic move. I want to arrive late. And what I'm going to do is, yeah, I'm going to have, you're late to your chess match, and then you realize that you've got a big trailing thing of blood behind you. You realize your vibrating beads are just fucking hanging out of your jeans. So, you do the fucking vibrating bead trick once. You gotta keep it up, guys. That's my take on the chess bead game. I think Queen's Gambit was a lot less visual like that. It's a bit of a weird strategy when rhythm up your ass is the thing, yeah. I didn't say that. That was off the YouTube chat. For anybody who thinks any accusations of me cheating, because the chat is cheating for the streamer when he runs out of fucking original ideas. I tell you, the streamers, they're fucking load of shit. You know? It's like, what happened to stand-up comics, you know? You used to come up with, you know, you pre-prepare your meal, you bring it out there, you show them, you know? I'm telling you. I like your post-meal. I don't like any of that fucking, you know, pre-meal shit. I've been doing a Rodney thing fucking all day. The vibrating beads. Or Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't get credit for the jokes I'm taking. Who was the jokes? Apparently Robin Williams was like a big fucking joke stealer. But the person who had the biggest problem with it was probably the unfunniest guy ever. Fucking Joe Rogan. Tell me the last time you laughed at a Joe Rogan joke. He's on his fucking Jesus crusade at the moment or something. I had a funny joke about that whole Jesus thing earlier on in the stream of consciousness. So if you want to see that, go roll back the stream. Oh, I remember now. another thought occurred to me today while walking. This is my original thought. When you're watching a film, you know, nobody says they like the fucking middle of the film. You know, they say their favorite bits. And no one ever says, you know what my favorite bit of it was? The trimmings. You know, the fat trimmings were fucking gorgeous. I want more fat trimmings of the meal. My favorite part is the fucking fat trimmings. Look at my infinity guns. Why the fuck? I'm not gonna use the infinity guns. I've already gotten eaten by loads of fucking people already. I'm gonna be eaten alive by the fucking devout fans of the horror genre games if I fucking use these. The fans love the bloat. It's not my favorite part of the fucking thing. Like I said, most people's favorite part of my streams are the end. But stick around to the end. You'll see. You'll see what I mean when you get to the end. That's all people fucking care about is the end. The Magnus Carlsen, Rodney Dangerfield jokes were not fucking good. They're not doing good. They're the fucking weakest material yet. I'm looking at my fucking box of hopes and dreams. It's fucking nothing good in here. Maybe I'll take the shotgun and just fucking point at my head. Look, I fucking can't do it anymore, guys. I think I'm just gonna I'm gonna pull it off and just do it. Oh, the other thing okay, here's another thing. The scariest movie ever made, you know what they say is Misery? Persona? No respect. Well, get this, right? You know how Stephen King's like an older fella now? He's writing all those horror books. There's nothing more fucking terrifying than getting old, right? So what if he did this? He did a sequel book to Misery, and he just called it Old and Miserable. Eh? He's a fucking old, miserable fucking guy. I don't know, it doesn't sound like a bestseller book, to be honest. An old curmudgeony fuck. That movie was already directed. Oh, fuck's sake. It's already been done. My idea's been stolen. My idea that was based on another guy's idea of a good movie. Fuck. Oh, my green herbs. That's what I need. None of you are being harsh enough on me here. No one in the chat room is being harsh enough on my skills at this fucking game to hurry the fuck up. I might as well be an old curmudgeony fuck. There's a documentary on your nan's house. What was it on? How to fucking stream better? Better than this? What the fuck? I got the magic jewel. What do you put the jewel into again? I'm trying to remember where you put the jewel. Where do you put the fucking jewel? There's a scene in Misery where he gets his leg smashed in. Oh, we know! We've seen the fucking film. Roll the film! Let's just roll the film. The longer you play, the longer the background noise for the VOD enjoyers. Yeah, the VOD villains, as I call them. But, I have a secret strategy when it comes to these VOD fuckers, right? What I do is, they want to skip to the good parts of, like, the VOD, you know? So I decided, we're not going to have any good parts. I stole that from Norm Macdonald. He did an award show, and he's just like, we have measures in place for that to not happen. We're not having any good parts. But where the fuck do I go to get the fucking red jewel? Where do I put the red jewel? Harry meeting Sally, what's that about? This is just the thoughts of a fucking deranged man at this point, because I'm reading two different types of chats. Chat room used to be a lot more salacious. It used to be more associated with, like, talking to people and getting your whistle wet. Ask Joby about his dick. Okay, Joe, there's someone who wants to talk to you about your fire hose. Burn him the fuck up. Get that fucker banned. Where the fuck did these clowns come from? What the fuck? Hey, 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 hey. What? Is it you said it? It wasn't me. That's not what I... Yeah, that's what I said. That's what she said. I'm after shooting Chris Rock in the fucking face. Sorry about that. Oh, where do I put the fuse? I remember when Joe was playing Jack, he goes, I gotta get my muse. I'm gonna lose my fuse because I don't got my muse. That skull was crack-a-lacking, yeah. Whenever I think of Chris Rock, I just picture him as the fucking zebra from Madagascar. And in that film that me and Joe watched, there's a lady that goes, she wants to be a comedian in the apocalypse, right? And her ex-boyfriend goes, yeah, like Chris Rock. I think it was a dig at Chris Rock, I'm not sure, but fucking Quentin Tarantino's in the film and his balls are falling off. This is terrible. This is fucking terrible. I think you get a jewelry box and then you put the fucking jewel in it. That makes the most sense, doesn't it? A jewelry box would have a jewel in it. What does a jewel case mean? What does that mean? Did anybody hear that fucking cartoonish noise that just happened? What was that? Boring. Boring. What's everybody's thoughts and opinions on the Harry Potter revival? Turn to page 24. All I know is that they got Nick Frost to, you know, to fill the role of Hagrid, right? You know, he's got big shoes to fill. Mainly that of a big fucking hairy guy. That was the fucking worst delivery on that one. That fell fucking flat. That was the fucking worst. PS1 Nick Frost. That's what I'm saying. You don't like Harry Potter, but you like the rides? Marvin, no!
Damn it.
This is the part where I get really okay. We're gonna wake up the VOD viewers. Marvin! Oh my god, Marvin! Starving Marvin! Fucking go to bed. Was that loud enough for the VOD viewers to wake up?
I promise.
I'm telling you, a hip and a hop. One of the worst roller coasters to be on, speaking of. Guess who's back? I heard that fucking Bill Cosby's doing the rounds. So he's roaming around. And here's the thing about Bill. I'm not going to any of his shows. Because, you know, his post show is going to be fucking, you know, he's got his act. Well, you know, the show's over when, you know, brings you a drink. And there's going to be more to the post show than there is the main act, you know, the main stuff. I think I already joked about Bill Cosby earlier today. So it's already done. It's already done and dusted. Fucking redo, rehash. I'm gonna look at my map. I need to figure out where I'm going. Got the fucking crank. And you can crank things around. He goes to the Laugh Factory and he mixes the drinks. I'm not drinking what you're serving me up there, Bill. What about this French dude? How's that Twitch chat been doing? Well, for starters, I didn't get a message saying, do you need your fucking stream fixed? Wait. That's cool. I like that. My barber had the hanging old TV setup like that, so I'd be like sitting in the fucking chair getting my hair cut, looking at the American flag, of course. Wait, there's two of them. No, but this is more of like a shop, you know, CCTV shop thing where they fucking watch you. But yeah, fucking Jeremy Kyle will be on it and fucking Judge Judith. I don't know how you were mentioning fucking Jeremy Kyle to me the other day, Joe, but he only really fucking showed up today on the stream of importance. Oh yeah, wasn't Bruce Willis in that film that we watched the other day? I really like Bruce Willis. But the thing is, like, it was his birthday or something the other day. He's 70 years old. And, you know, he's probably sitting there thinking, you know, what can I watch that's, like, a good film to watch? Put on Die Hard, and he's just like, you know, this fucking guy's great. I wish I was as good as him. It's like, no, that's you. That's you in the film. It's like, yeah, shut the fuck up. That's me. I'm not an actor. I never did any of that shit. The Clover Door. Hungry for more. Oh. It's a cool fucking detour I've done, but like, where am I? I got this. I got this. I got my Vaseline, my mustard Vaseline. There's nothing scarier than fucking yellow Vaseline, you know? Let's have a look at the magazines. I fucking need 1 billion keys. I need a big fucking thing of keys. You've forgotten what my YouTube is called. What the fuck is my YouTube called? I need to rebrand it again. I call it Larry's Telly, but it hasn't been doing so well. Oh shit. I'm gonna rebrand it again. Because the name has changed, I've lost track. I think you should be fucking subscribed to it, no? You're like my dad. You're like my fucking dad. He doesn't fucking know where anything is. I have 1 billion items in my inventory. Great. I have everything but ammo. Who's playing the piano now? Very scary. I'm gonna go down to the box and lump all of it into the fucking box. The box of tricks, as my dad would say. The fucking box of tricks. What you got in that box of tricks? You like the theming? The theming? What the fuck is the theming been so far? There's no fucking theming to this. More like fucking scheming. I'm only here for my paycheck. Twitch is gonna be giving me a nice big fat Bezos paycheck eventually or something. I think I'm due one, it said. People always go on about their followers and stuff. Oh, how much followers have you got? It's like, look, I don't give a fuck how much followers I have. Look, Jesus Christ had the most followers there fucking ever was, and look what they did to him. What fucking good, unless you're a cult leader, you know, fucking followers, why do you need those? It's all about subscriptions, and I fucking need that fucking, the money. $5 fucking dollars? 5 quid? Oh, I got some Gizmo. I've got fucking loads of Gizmos. Gizmo's that character out of the fucking, the Gremlins. He's a great fucking character. I'm gonna develop the film. Let me think. Here's my brain here. I'm missing the hip pouch because I didn't get the buttons. Oh, of course, the David yeah. If you want to speak to David Lynch, I think the only thing we can hope for is maybe a seance, but I think I've put the David Lynch thing to bed. You never know, he might come back. He might tell you the weather or something. Wait, what? It's like watching a fever trip trying to explain to other people made me sound crazy. There's this guy and he did this fucking stream where he spoke to David Lynch. Yeah, trying to explain that. It's fucking terrible. Trying to explain a dream to somebody is fucking a nightmare as is. Trying to explain to them David Lynch telling you fucking what he had for food or something. It's fucking bad. I'm brain farting again. I'll bring the jewel with me. I'm scared to bring it with me in case I get fucking pounced on. What was I doing? I'm looking for a button, that's what it is. So, hold on. If I keep going on like this, we're gonna miss out on some fucking good stuff, is what I'm thinking. But I can't remember, since it's been such a long time, where you get these keys. I know it's boring stuff, but it needs to be done. So. Someone said, I think one of the worst people imaginable, Louis C.K. said the secret to comedy is sounds. But I think the secret to being a decent human being is not doing what he did. But that's a topic for a different time. But that zombie sound, fucking something else. What the hell is that? I speak of Louis C.K. as well because the reason he's on my mind is because of the David Lynch thing. If you're ever interested to go down that fucking rabbit hole, look, David Lynch, Louis C.K. and it's just David Lynch saying that Louis C.K.'s shit. So this is before the scandal, okay? So maybe it's for the best, you know, that had happened, I suppose. Or didn't happen, I don't know. I need to go to the basement. I need to bring my cheese board with me. Stop. In the name of the law. Do police officers even say that? Should I put this up? Yeah, might as well. You know, stop in the name of the law. Let me think. I didn't develop the film. Oh. This is not great. I got fucking 3 yellow tubs. If you ever rebrand, I think it'd be funny if you were a cooking chat. What? I think food is on your mind. It must be because of the fucking vegan fucking title or something. I'll throw a dart at my dartboard and I'll decide if I rebrand as a cooking channel or something. Cooking with the... There's this Swedish YouTuber I watch, right? A Swedish YouTuber. And he had this segment called Cooking with the Cock. Because every time he would say cook, it sounded like cock. So he'd just say cooking with the cock. So maybe I'll steal that. No, I'm thinking I need to go somewhere with this. I have this thing. I have this thing. And I was in the garage, wasn't I? So where to next? I think I need to go use the card reader, is it? Do I have that? I don't think I do need it, do I? Oh, nice. I am utterly confused. Confucius might have a hand in this. I already made my point clear about these ancient epic guys. Look, I don't mind that people want to listen to the fucking tales of a dead man named Marcus Aurelius, but can we please just fucking stop hitting women, for fuck's sake? You're not going to become a better man if you fucking read a book and still hit women. Like, what are you doing? I don't mean to be preachy again, but maybe put the book down and maybe the fists down too. But you can't get through to these guys, you know? Where's my key card? I've got this yoke. Oh no, there goes my neck. I hate to do it, but it's come to this. Where are you, dog?
Shit.
That's right. You must hate everybody equally. No, I don't hate people at all. Like the Scatman said, tell me the color of your soul. Okay, that's that done. Does this fucking nightmare ever fucking end? You know, people prefer this one over the fourth one I was playing. Oh, fucking ring-a-ding-a-dozy. Here we go again. You know, they say the fourth one is too fucking actiony. No smoking. That journalist is really gonna fucking get it now. You know how I spoke of the fucking devil and he appeared, where he's gone again. He can't find the YouTubes. If it really comes down to it, will we use? Nah, we're not gonna fucking use. I should have used these on the boss, the scientist boss, but I didn't. Well, I'm happy enough that I didn't, because now look, so much more other things. I take these and mix them around. I'll take that. Yeah, I don't know, the devil's fucking gone quiet or something. You know what would make this... You know when people say, oh, this is like ASMR and all this, and fucking... You know, this is so soothing and relaxing. Is there like a Hoover fucking noise? There's nothing that drives me fucking up a wall quicker than the Hoover noise. You know what this stream needs is fucking another noise on top of it. I need my Hoover noise. There's a ringing fucking noise. That's annoying. That's definitely warranted. Now, what the fuck was that? That fucking Jesus zombie. What was that? What the fuck was that? I'm just gonna keep on repeating, what the fuck was that? A guy just shot through the fucking ceiling at light speed. I didn't know zombies could go to heaven, but yeah, according to this, they can. I'm gonna ham up the fucking reaction to that, because that seems like a fucking good clip. You know, people don't care about fucking long streams with jokes in them anymore. People only care about clips. And there's a fucking clip for you. The fucking Jesus zombie ascending. Holy fuck. Is she playing a cello? What is... Oh, it's a fucking sword. What is the Hoover noise? I think it's the fucking guy from Teletubbies. The blue guy. Just fucking Google blue guy from Teletubbies and you'll know what noise he makes. That was the fucking scariest fucking thing. The fucking Halo zombie. Yeah, I need to go develop my film, so I'm gonna go back through here. Am I thinking right? I've been going through this fucking thing so many times. I was thinking of picking up a white t-shirt or something on the way back. Yeah, maybe think about getting that fixed. Look, I know it looks bad, but we're going in here anyway. Dirty laundry. When someone's got dirty laundry, they don't mean dirty laundry. The women's locker room, dear God. Joby says he's gonna puke. Well, I'd prefer if you didn't fucking puke in the women's fucking locker room. For God's sake. Should be in there, man. Develop. DCM? Was this worth going the whole fucking extra mile? You've been told to hold it in, king. You're a king now. I never get this lingo. People are kings and queen, you know, slay queen. Meanwhile, the fucking actual queen's fucking dead. Can we stop going on about fucking regicide so much these days? A lot of regicide going on. And like I said before, can we leave fucking Nelson Mandela out of it? You want to be a count? A count? Of Monte Cristo? Hey Earl. My Name is Earl was actually a pretty good show. I was doing an impression of fucking that guy Earl the other day. I can't think of how else to do it. It's not that serious. It is. The fucking King of England is fucking next on the chopping block. Because people are saying slay the king, slay the queen. I'm pretty sure everything's a fucking game reference or a fucking movie or music. I don't fucking know. As long as you say in a game, you know how people say, oh, if you say allegedly, you get away with it? No, if you just say, oh, I heard it in a game, you can get away with anything. I got a message here. Hold on. Congratulations, you've received 100 messages today. That's not really an achievement. Getting hate. Listen. Getting hate mail is not an achievement. Is that fucking yolk in the fucking pipes? He's moving about. He's moving around. They did a fantastic job with the fucking the lickers in this game where they run around trying to lick you. Lickety split. Oh, there's fucking one right there. Holy shit. Let's see how you deal with stairs, you fucker. Yeah. The scariest thing imaginable. It can't even go up fucking stairs. Is that what I think? Is that a workout? I'm fucking not going up there. Anything but that. You're welcome. You can tank the Listen, I've been mulling over the achievement thing. This is what I have to say about achievement. Please don't eat my guts. Yeah, don't eat my guts for saying this, but I like to write these profound things in my fucking telephone. Hold on. You know, people think that comedians are the modern day philosophers, you know? I fucking don't. I disagree. Right, I wrote this down. Achieved. Like, what have you achieved? If one's life's goal is to look what I did, but if everyone's doing that, then isn't that, like, diminished? Like, it's an artificial thing to give you permission to, like, be happy. If you're having a meal, like, that's an achievement. See, preventing yourself from dying or, you know, staying alive, that counts more than having a gold medal or, like, a trophy. You can live without obtaining recognition or status, but you can't live without food. See, society puts a heavy emphasis on producing worth, but it all hinges on what is, you know, you gotta eat the food from the soil and you have to breathe the air. Because we didn't make anything. I think I butchered my own fucking writing, but... Imagine having a conversation and then fucking writing it down. That wasn't a conversation, that was just a profound thought. We just keep coming back to food. I have a lot on my mind, clearly. There's a yellow tub of ice cream in that fucking office, look. Oh, sorry, yellow powder. Whey protein. If I mix it with water, I get a delicious cement. More shower thoughts. But, you know, there's a bit of truth to what I was saying, you know? I'm not supposed to give you fucking important things. No, I'm confused. So earlier on he says that it's you know, you're supposed to be saying important things. But now he's saying, don't say funny things, say important things. So now I'm mixed up. I think what I was trying to get at is that we're all the fucking same. We all have to eat and shit. Fucking Einstein had to fucking eat and shit. Everybody on planet Earth has to fucking eat and shit. Cookies and cream ice cream would be awesome. You see? It doesn't matter what you achieve in life. You're not going to be cookies and cream ice cream, are you? Well, to the zombies you might be. You can only be one of two things. I'm going to be a policeman. Hold that shower thought, okay? I need to think of what I'm fucking doing with my life. Yeah, electronic puzzle yoke. The magic key. Okay, I think I remember now. You go down that way, and then you unlock another door, and then you get more keys. It's fucking confusing game. Horror games. The real horror is you have to solve a fucking puzzle every time you walk 2 centimeters in this fucking game. You can be a fart smeller or a smart feller. Oh, fuck. I need to go to the records room and see what the fuck's in there. He's thinking about a fucking nice fucking pizza or something. Oh, it's the clover door. No, 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 no. That's not good. Well, what do you know? That records room contains the entire Beatles discography. Maybe it does. Flash, bam, alakazam. I love how you know Uri Geller, the magician. His whole actor shtick was that he was the spoon bending guy. You know how in the Matrix there's like, oh, he can bend the spoon with it, like your dad met him. Oh god, but he can like bend the spoon with his mind. Well, he wasn't a fan of the fact that Pokemon had a guy who could bend spoons with his mind, so they had to change the name of one of them. I think it was the second one. You have a spoon signed by him? Just throw it out. What are you doing with a fucking spoon by this fucking guy? And I can bend a spoon with my fucking hands, okay? But in the Matrix, there's like a scene where it's like, oh, you could bend the spoon. And it's very like an important scene. He's like, whatever you believe is reality or some shit. And then fucking Keanu Reeves like, yeah, I can bend spoons now. Because like the child's like bending the spoon with his mind. Maybe that fucking child could do better fucking not copying Uri Geller, you know? That's awesome lore for whoever that Twitch chatter is. I hate to break the news. I hate to fucking break the whole fucking curtain down, but it's fucking Joe. That sounds like a troll, but it's 100% true. And I'm Pope Shlomo. It's not like that entirely eating 100% true joke. We fucking know. What the fuck? Hush. Look, I'm going to the boiler room. I'm lost. You go through the break room. You go through the boiler room. Yeah. How do I get to the fucking... What? How do you get in there anyway? I wish I could zoom out of this fucking game. Because I'm boiling. The morgue. I've did the morgue. I've done the... Now the jail I have not done. Do you think I have all the... I see, I've obtained the electronic part. Is that enough? Just one thing? Generator room. I think I'll go back to that. The only thing I can think of is going to the jail. I'm going the wrong way. Oh, that was disgusting. Oh my god. Yeah, I hope you weren't eating your cookies and cream ice cream when you saw that. Where the fuck am I going? This way? This way, he says. This way. You know what I'm going to say about directions? there, you know, there's nothing more contentious than saying East for some reason. It's like the Middle East, no one cares about the Midwest anymore. It's like the times have changed or something, right? But there was a band, right? There's a bit of a contention with this band. Their name is One Direction. And if you ask me, I think they're gone. They went their separate ways. For a band called One Direction, they just fucking went their separate ways. I thought the direction they were heading was, you know, the fucking top, but now that they're disbanded, they're gone to the fucking bottom. Not like the rich people. Here's something you can tell to anybody. They did in Ada Wong. They did. Here's something you can tell anybody you want, and you don't need to credit me, okay? But here's something that you'd never hear, you know, a poor person say. You see, only let me say this. A broke person wouldn't say this. Do you want to go to the bottom of the ocean? See, that's more of a rich person's thing. Only rich people want to end up at the bottom of the ocean. Now, if you can tell that better than I can tell that, well, then maybe you'll make it. But you didn't hear it from me. Just pretend you came up with that on your own. And it wasn't it wasn't my assistant Jeffrey who came up with that either. Ada Wong in her separate ways. Only rich people want to go to the bottom of the ocean. Airheads? What the fuck type of fucking bot is this? Airheads, child. It's alright, I'll say that to my date for real. Maybe best not to open up with, "Are you broke?" on a date. Here, I heard this thing once. Let me see if it works. Can someone nuke the fucking bot called Airheads? Like, what the fuck? I thought that was a suite. But no, they're advertising or something. Okay, I've done it. Oh, I don't have enough? Okay. I think he tells you where they are. There's a few in the generator room. And I got word there's only one of those fucking things in the clock tower. Well, it's good to know. You got rid of him? I got a delivery for Mr. Conehead? It's pronounced Conehead. That's more of a Joe joke. That's stealing Joby's material, you know? Why is he so out of breath? What a swat. That's what you do to flies, you swat them. There's nothing more fucking horrible in the US than getting swatted, where they say, "Oh, this streamer has a bomb threat," and then they do it. It's not your stream anymore, Buck. It's been hijacked. The chat has me hostage. Fucking don't say that out loud. If you have headphones or earphones, take the headphones or earphones off your phone. If you're in a bus or a train listening to this, I'm being hijacked. Fucking help. There you go. Watch this on public transport at full volume, please. I'm sure the old woman would very much appreciate it. This is not the hijacking. Well, it is. If anything, it's a hijacking of my fucking earlobes. Oh, what? I thought this fucking extra room is where you get, like, that fucking thingy-mabob. But no, it's not. You know what's a real fucking hijacking? When someone says something you can't get out of your fucking head. SpongeBob. You're now thinking about fucking SpongeBob. Oh! Who lives in a pineapple? The dark room sink. It's a dark room at the bottom of the wreckage of the Titanic, is all I'm saying. The brain worms? See, here's a strategy. If you ever want to do this, here's a strategy people have kind of reeled back and realized. Streamers have employed this only recent, but fucking Jimmy Carr does it all the time, and people call him out for it. Do you want a Jimmy Carr response to a heckle? He'll do this. He'll go, "The brainworm?" He's got a rich laugh. He laughs like a fucking ventriloquist. He looks like a ventriloquist dummy, doesn't he? Good one, sir. Good one. And then he'll say, I've seen some of his comebacks recently, really fucking bad. Like, he'll say to a heckler, "Well, you paid for the ticket, so you're a stupid, fat, ugly cunt. You can't. This is the only job in the world you can say that back, and you can't say anything about it." That's an actual thing he said. That's not just me making it up on the spot. He actually, if you want to look at the Jimmy Carr clip collection, it came across my fucking feed. The only feed I care about is the fucking feed of these zombies are getting, you know? I'm in the library to learn. Not to fucking do Jimmy Carr's crappy material, or don't mention the garlic bread. Look, for you saying garlic bread, you need to get the fuck out of my stream. Yeah, get the fuck out of my stream for that. That's a fucking... How dare you interrupt my stream of consciousness. But I'm being called a bookworm now. Once you called me a brainworm, now you're calling me a bookworm. So which one is it? I take great offense to be calling a worm of any kind, okay? I need to fucking figure out how to, sorry for swearing. At this stage. I need to read more books, okay? I use the F word to punctuate what I'm saying, okay? It's my filler word. I need to learn new words. Where's Jack? The secret room? Is it in the secret? I'm an earthworm? I'm an earthworm, and I'm an ugly worm, I'm a bookworm. What else type of fucking worm am I not? Earthworm fucking Jim. I need the clover key, or sorry, the club key to go to the club. Big shout out to Up in the Club in The Sopranos. I've been fucking everywhere. What? This is the worst fucking Resident Evil stream ever. You're a bloody worm, you're sand. Stop. All these worm comments. This is the fucking worst stream ever. Where the fuck do I go? If any of you bookworms out there fucking know where the fucking Jack is, you're redeemed, okay? Oh, wasn't somebody was talking about Alf the other day? It's like saw this video and it was like, here's some interesting tidbits about the Alf the character, right? And then the guy went in and he kept on talking about all the people who had died since the making of Alf, and now I'm just thinking it's more of a morgue than it's like morbid facts about Alf. You want your money back. Look, if you came to this fucking for, freeload off my humor, and you're calling me worms and shit, look, I don't have a good retort to that, so I'm just gonna call you a worm as well, and we'll leave it at that. Look, it's better than going to a Jimmy Carr gig like this and being called a fat, ugly crone or something. Oh my god. I'm just gonna leave you alive. Or yeah, it's popular to say unalive and stuff. They're undeaded. I'm sorry, but it's not, we can't say that word anymore, so zombies are now fucking the unaliving. Night of the unaliving dead. I missed like 3 in a fucking row. You're not the only one calling me a fucking worm. The Twitch one, I'm being attacked on 2 sides of the coin. I'm not only just being called a worm on YouTube, I'm being called a worm on Twitch. Look, when I'm fucking dead and buried, that's when you can enjoy the worms going on me, but not now. I take great offense to that, to the worm comments. We'll give it a couple of years and then the worms can have their fucking day in the sun. Well, they're not going to be in the sun. People say, like, what's the point of the fucking urn or the casket? It's so the worms don't fucking eat you, okay? That's a morbid joke, but listen. If we didn't have that... Parking. I'm just gonna park the morbid fucking jokes, because people hate morbid jokes. Nobody's a fan of morbid stuff, unless it's morbid obesity. Why is it called that? Is it because, well, if you're too big, I suppose you could die of it, but... A morbid obsession with food. He's morbidly obese. You're part of the listen. Leave the worms to Robert F. Kennedy, okay? He's not the first Kennedy to have something in his head. Well, they're both different things, okay? One was something else, and it wasn't a worm. Did you know I saw, you know, the fucking Trumpians? They're always going on about, release the JFK files, release them. I think I'm good, because what I saw on Twitter was equally worse than the fucking files, I'll tell you. Because I saw the actual fucking, you know, footage of what happened to him. It's fucking terrible. I think we know what happened. Like, knowing what happened and seeing what happened are two different things, I'll tell you, because people would not be joking. People would not be joking about the Titanic if they actually were on the fucking ship. Was it the Epstein files? No. Talking about the JFK files, of course. The other one's about pedophiles. We all know this. He's gorging on his ass. Where the fuck do I go? I need to get the jack and I don't know where to go. The fire escape, of course. We go at the fire escape. We get the hell out of here. I'm starting to get thirsty. What time is it in America land? It's coming up to 6 o'clock. In real life land, referring to my time as real life land, it's getting late enough, but it's still okay. Remember, it's Garfield Cat Day, so I don't want any morbid talk now. No morbid talk on fucking Garfield's favorite day, Thursday. It's better than his own favorite day, which is Mondays. And if you think I made that up, look up what today's date is about. It says it's Garfield Day. Yeah, the fire escape. America Land is multiple times. Yep. America Land is closed for today, actually. Americana. You know how you have certain, like, foods? You've got the Americana. You got the French something or other, you know, German sausage and all this. I found the right way, thank Christ. I don't know why we're thanking him, but we're going to thank him. An atheist would not say thank Christ. I'm talking about Jesus H. Christ. I'm not talking about the actual Jesus. The Americano, you mean crying. Is an Americano coffee that bad? When I was in France, when I wanted to get like a cappuccino, they fucking don't do them anywhere. It's so, now that's true sadness. This isn't a joke. I went to a library and I asked, they had a coffee shop at the top. And I said, do you do, what coffees do you do? Because I was trying to be kind of sly about it. I didn't want to directly say it, and because you can only get espressos there. They're really big on espressos, which is a really miserable fucking tiniest fucking coffee. You can't even enjoy it. It's already gone when you drink it. So I was like, I was just going around in circles talking to this lady at the coffee shop. And then I said, you wouldn't happen to have those Italian coffees, the big tall ones? She goes, yeah, cappuccino? No, we don't. Oh, interesting. And then I had to try and get out of this conversation because I didn't want to go to the coffee shop because they don't have what I want. I just made up a lie and I said, okay, I'm going to go, I'm with my friends. I'm going to go get my friends and I'll be back. I didn't come back with my friends. I just left. I promised her. I said I'll be back with many friends, which means many more customers. But no, I ran away. So I'm sure it's not the first time this happened to them as well. It's not my fucking fault that they don't have the coffee people want. So if you ever go to France, remember this. They only like those small coffees which are really overpriced. And they have baguettes. And they have snail food. You always like saying, I'll be back to someone I wanted to buy, but it's too expensive. That's everybody's go-to one. Sometimes when you say I'll be back, you're back, but nah. Look what I got. Fucking finally. Well, this is my promise. This is my fucking promise, okay? I'll be back. We'll get the clip. Do we have the clip? I should have the clip of what I'm talking about. People know what I'm on about. There's this famous clip of a guy, he says, I'll be back. Ah, there it is. Well, give me 1 second. I need to roll the clip. Like, goodbye forever, I guess. I'm not gonna fucking die. I'm not gonna go away forever. Just hold on. Can you see? You can't see. Oh, no. I know what's wrong. Hold on. Here we go. And now for the I'll be back clip.
Rick, the way I got into smoking stogies is very simple. I went home with Maria in 1977 when I met her at the tennis tournament. I went home with her.
It says funny BTS interview, but there's no BTS in
to meet her parents
video.
in Hyannisport. And there, her father, after dinner, pulled out a cigar, lit it up. Then he gave one to his son, then to the other son, and to some other people. And he said to me, do you want a cigar? And I said, I don't know how to smoke a cigar.
The best bit is like at the end, so let me just scroll to the
I can smoke stogies around her. I can smoke stogies in my house. First of all, because her father introduced me to stogies, and second of all, because I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want. I don't have to find a hideout place like you.
Well, there you have it. What was my fucking final thought? This is more of a Joe thing. He goes, I have my Jerry Springer final thought, which it's not his final thought. It's fucking Jerry Springer's final thought. So here's my thing. This is definitely my final thing. Like David Lynch would always say, which is, definitely what I'd say. It's like, I hope for golden sunshine all across the way. There you go. Get a cappuccino or some shit. I don't fucking know. And I'll be, the thing that Arnold said, remember? That.